Cross your fingers. I should get a notification that we are live. And I'm going to check my phone just to make sure. And we are live now. Right. So, hi everyone. We hope that you are enjoying your Wednesday. Today is our Wellness Wednesday series that we have been doing once a week since the stay-at-home orders were issued. This has turned out to be so helpful to our community, and we love serving everyone and highlighting local businesses. Today I have with me Graham, who is the owner, and we kind of talked a little bit previously before we went Facebook Live, and I'm going to ask him to please pronounce his business name. I don't want to hack it up. Graham, take it away.
All right, so I'm Graham Hannon. My wife and I own the Sukhino Float Center in Salt Cave here in New Albany, where we offer both flotation therapy and halotherapy.
Oh, that's interesting. So flotation therapy, what exactly is that? Because I know I was cruising around on your website earlier and found some great information, but tell me exactly what is that?
So most people would actually have probably heard of sensory deprivation tanks, which is essentially what they are. It's kind of a modern take on that. So what it is you get into it's like a giant bathtub. They are 9 feet long by 8 feet wide by 8 feet high. But filled in that, it's 10 inches of body temperature water with 1,100 pounds of Epsom salt in there. And what that does is it manipulates the specific gravity of the water, which allows your body to float on top of the water without any effort whatsoever. So you're completely supported. That being said, while that happens, every single muscle and joint in your entire body completely relaxes at the same time because there's no pressure for anything, and no muscle or joint is having to, retract or constrict or anything like that.
And so, what are the benefits of floating therapy? Because this is something I've never done before, and I'm very excited to come try what that is. So, what are the benefits?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of benefits. For starters, there's the physical benefits, like I just mentioned. So we call it's a lot like having a massage on steroids, but nobody touches you.
Perfect. Because I don't, and right now, not a lot of people want to be touched. So that's
absolutely. So that's a very strong benefit, and for me, that's the main benefit that I take away from floating. There's also the mental benefit as well. Like I said, you can use these as sensory deprivation. The rooms are soundproofed and light proofed. So you can have complete dead silence in your room. You can have complete darkness. And when I say complete darkness, I mean you can't even tell if your eyes are open or closed in there if you have the lights out. So it really allows the mind to reset, rejuvenate, and just kind of escape. So it has great benefits for those that have any kind of anxiety, PTSD, things like that, any kind of mental escape that somebody might need to help with that.
Those are all wonderful benefits. So many of us are experiencing anxiety right now, especially with the way that things are changing and moving so rapidly. You highlighted the fact that it's a no touch, which is certainly something that is for me personally, I'm interested in, because right now I just not a lot of people should be.
Absolutely. And we've done that with the entire center. Of course, the employees, we wear masks while we're here. When there's other guests that are here, we try to make everything as touchless as possible, including from foot pulls on the doors. While we were closed, I went through and installed touchless light switches in every room. So everything, that to the touchless sink in the bathroom. Plus, hand sanitizer is provided everywhere. So trying to do our best to maintain a safe and clean environment for everybody.
That sounds like a very safe and clean environment when everything is touchless. Now, the floating therapy, how long does a session normally last? And what should I be expected to bring when I come there?
So our standard sessions are 75 minutes. We do also offer an upgrade to 90 minutes if somebody would like to do that, which is we found is the 75 minutes tends to be the sweet spot, but some of our more advanced floaters like to float a little longer. So we do offer that. When it comes to bringing things, we try to make it a one-stop shop where you kind of just come as you are. You actually float in your birthday suit, so you don't have to worry about a bathing suit or anything like that. And the reasons for that are twofold. One thing is because a bathing suit can have dyes in it, or where if you've washed it, it can have detergent and things that can get in and contaminate the water. And water purification is really one of the most important things that we have here. And secondly, since you're floating on top of the water in that much salt tends to dry out once it gets on the body and is exposed to the air, and can just become uncomfortable. The good thing is, though, you are in your own private float suites with your own private shower and changing area, so everything's locked away. So there's no communal space that's there. We provide everything that you need from hair and body products such as body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. We also offer generally not as much now since everything is become it's touch free. So generally we would offer body sprays and deodorants and things like that, which we do have on upon request. But that's something that usually that we have, so you can just come in, not have to worry about anything at all from the time that you get here to the time that you leave.
So I don't need to bring a bathing suit. I just show up for my session. And then afterwards, once I'm done floating, is that when I then take a shower and kind of like rinse off before leaving?
So you have two showers during your session. You have a shower at the beginning, because even walking from your car into the building, you can pick up any kind of contaminants that are outside, whether it be dust and dander or any kind of allergens and things like that. So that way you're completely clean when you get in, and then it goes back to keeping the water quality at a very high and clean rate there. And then of course you'll take an after shower rinse, because you're going to be covered in all that salt, and it can be very uncomfortable if you walk out without rinsing that off. So.
It certainly, it sounds like it. And I love that you have the touchless systems that, I don't have to plan a day to come, like I just come as I am in my birthday suit, just, floating.
Well, coming in clothes and then getting your birthday suit after. Yeah.
So how long have y'all been open, and what really compelled you and your wife to open your float center in Salt Cave?
We will have been open for 2 years coming up in November.
Okay.
But it was about 4 years worth of research and study before we decided to open the center. For starters, we wanted to make sure we knew what we were doing, and to make sure that we could make it, as much as we love doing everything for the community here, it is a business, so we wanted to make sure that it was viable, something that would survive. And we've been very lucky enough that we've been able to do that. Really, to be honest with you, the entire idea was my wife's idea.
You're a good husband.
She came to me and said, "Hey, I want to open up a float center." I said, "That is great. What in the world is that?" And so she's like, "Well, this is this," and I was like, "Okay, I understand." And of course, I had the typical husband thought process is like, "Okay, I want to get into water and think." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." So she actually sent me over to another float center over in Louisville, which is Weightless Float Center over there. A couple of great folks, Greg and Chelsea over there that own that. So if you're in Louisville and you can't make it over to New Albany, check them out too, because they are fantastic. But I did my first float there, and I got out and I was like, okay, yeah, I can get behind this. I know exactly what to do here, because it affects everybody differently. Like I said, whether or not it be for the physical aspect or for the mental aspect. And we were kind of on two ends of the spectrum of it. She loved it for the mental aspect, and I loved it for the physical aspect. And we kind of put our brains together and decided how we could, we could put it together to service both. And from there, it just kind of took off. Like I said, we did several years of research. We floated everywhere that we could possibly do. I ended up going to a conference out in Portland to learn how to design and build a float center, so that we could, relay it to contractors and things like that. So what I thought was going to be easy, I came back with a novel worth of things going, hey, by the way, this has to be done. So, and it was like anything else. Whenever you're building a brand new business, it took longer than expected to get it open, but once it finally did, it was very well received and continues to do so.
And so you've told us a little bit about the floating, and I now understand and grasp what that is. How does the salt cave come into that, and what is the salt cave?
Okay, so the salt cave is what was called, I mentioned it's called halotherapy. It was actually based on, well, the man-made versions are based on an event that happened actually over in Poland. There was a sickness that was going through this village in Poland, and they noticed everybody was getting deathly ill except for the salt miners. So, and they finally realized it was because of the salt that these guys weren't getting sick. So you can actually still go over there. There's like cathedrals and things built into these salt caves where these people were staying during the sick months. So what they did was they came up with a fabricated version for, for commercial and private use. So essentially what it is, you walk in, we call ours the tree house because it's a little bit more shaped like a tree house than it is an actual cave. So you go in there, it's a real serene setting of Himalayan salt all over the floor, on the walls, salt lamps everywhere, and there's some really cool seating in there. And the reason we call it a tree house, there's actually a tree that's in there. So, but the main star of that, there's what's called a halo generator on the outside of the room. And what it does is it grinds up pharmaceutical grade salt and disperses it into the air as a saline mist. So you absorb it through your skin, and you also inhale it. So it's technically known as the loofah for your lungs and skin. So if you've got any kind of breathing issues, sinuses, suffer from asthma, allergies, or anything like that, completely clears out all of your airways, sinuses, and whatnot. But also any kind of skin conditions, it's very good for people who have acne, psoriasis, things like that. It's very good at helping clear that up as well.
So it's really multi-purpose in the benefits that you get from the salt treehouse. And
Correct.
I love that it's an idea that came from Poland, and the story that is behind that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Learning about that and knowing what the things are and what they do for your skin and the health benefits. Now, if I was going to come over there and experience the Salt Tree House, how long is that session?
That is the 45-minute session.
Okay.
And we also offer, and a lot of people take advantage, we do a same day float followed directly by a salt cave session right after. At a discounted rate, which is great. So you can do that whole get that experience for both. A lot of people will go do a float, hop in the salt cave, and I'll go in. I'll find them snoozing away, having a nap after their float. So
That does sound really good. I love the products that you have there and the service that you're offering and the reason why you're doing it. And you've spent a lot of time researching it. When I first saw your business, I like when your wife came to you and said, I want to open a float center. I said, well, what is that?
right.
So I had the same reaction. I think a lot of people are going to understand and now know what the benefits are that your business offers, where they can get those as well. Now, do you take appointments on the website, Facebook? How do people reach you?
Sure. Well, as of right now, just with everything that's going on, we are appointment only. Generally, we would take walk-ins if if spots were available. But you can visit us at SukhinoFloatCenter.com and book there. Or you can actually book through our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SukhinoFloatCenter. And you can also give us a call at 812-670-5040. We find that some folks have issues trying to book things online, just in general. So we're more than happy to take phone calls and get things booked for you. Okay. We just want to make sure that we get everybody in here that wants to come.
That's wonderful. So you're able to service many people, whether they want to make a phone call or use Facebook. I know we're going to drop your information in the comments as well. I'm looking forward to coming and having my first floating session there. What would you say after someone is there for the first time? What is their reaction? What is their experience when they leave?
Well, I always say it varies from person to person because everybody's experience is going to be different. And actually, to be honest with you, every float that somebody takes can be different even for themselves, depending on how their body is feeling on that day or how their state of mind is. We've had course, most people come out and they're just extremely relaxed and they feel great, which is the most flattering that we can say. I've had people that have come out in tears. I'm like, oh my goodness, but they're good tears, because they've been dealing with a mental aspect or anything like that. So like it's different for everybody, whether it be a float session or a salt cave session. I will say, the more times that people do it, they get deeper and deeper into it, or they experience different things, or they are able to fall into that relaxation zone a lot quicker. So, and which is one of the reasons we also offer what's called an introduction to floating package for first-time floaters. So that's 3 floats for the price of 2 to help somebody build up their practice. Because I always tell the story. The first time I ever floated, I sat in there. I was doing a 90-minute float, and I sat in. For a while, I was like, okay, am I doing this right? Am I holding my hands in the right space? Am I not thinking enough? Am I thinking too much? All this. And then finally, I got it. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Oh, the light just came on. It's over. So, so the second time you come through, you're like, okay, I can get relaxed a little quicker. By the third time, you're almost a pro at it. And of course, as many times as I've done it now, I can just hop right in and I'm gone.
So the first time that you did it, it was because that's what I kind of envisioned. Am I doing this right? Like, what happens if I don't float the right way?
Well, the good thing is there's actually no wrong way to float, except maybe on your belly face down in the water, because you don't want that in your eyes or in your mouth. But there's no actual incorrect position for floating. So it's whatever is going to make you comfortable, which is the great thing. So we have, it's great because we have an introductory video, like an orientation video, that we used to do in person, but now again that we're doing the touchless, social distancing. So Kim has put together a great orientation video, very in depth about what to expect when you're here, how everything works, to show you that there's no wrong way to do it. Just trying to put everybody's mind at ease before they get in, to give you some idea what to expect. We don't tell you what your experience is going to be because everybody's experience is different. But we set you up to maximize the benefit of your experience.
And I like that because you're setting the expectations of what to expect. And that would be my personal biggest fear, would calling and going, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? But I love that y'all are providing this service. You've done it in a way that you've modified to make everyone feel comfortable. And for those that, because previously I would, go get the occasional massage and that was what I needed. But now I'm not so much into that and would prefer it to be much more, sanitary and float. And that sounds wonderful.
And you bring up another great point. You're talking about sanitary and things like that, because we do get that question a lot, is about, how is our water cleaned? And it's like, do we drain it out and refill it up after every person? It's like, well, no, we don't do that, just because with the amount of salt that's in there, it would get extremely expensive to do that. But the great thing about it is for starters, 99.9% of all things cannot live in the salt environment. Between each floater, actually before and after each float, there is a filtration system that consists of a cartridge filter for any kind of physical debris. There is an ozone filter and a UV filter. The most stringent state in the country requires that it goes through that filtration cycle 3 times. Ours goes through 9 times before and after every session. Plus at night, the pools are doused with heavy doses of an H2O2, which is a commercial grade hydrogen peroxide to kill anything that would possibly be in there. The tanks are sprayed down, and the walls are sanitized every day and every night as well. So it gives everybody a little bit of peace of mind in that.
It does. Thank you for explaining that. And thank you for providing your contact information. I know that you have a 1:30 appointment coming up. I'm looking forward to my first experience at your business. And could you tell us the meaning behind the name of your business?
Sure. So Sukhino, it's a Sanskrit word that means centered in happiness, free of suffering. Centered in joy and happiness, free from suffering. Excuse me.
joy, happiness, and free from suffering.
Which is what we all need that right about now.
That's what I was going to say. That's something we all need right now, and something that everyone can benefit no matter how they choose to practice that. Graham, thank you for being with us here today. We appreciate it. We put your information in the comments, and I'm looking forward to my first session there with you and meeting your lovely wife. And I love the background you got.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you are more than welcome. It's my pleasure to be here, and we look forward to having you here soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And happy Wellness Wednesday, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.